Very good morning, all. Today we are going to continue our session. So now I'm going to share my screen with you. Wait 1 minute. So it is being processing. Right. So this is the big picture of ecologism. In very simply, we can say this picture shows us what's the real meaning of ecologism, right? So normally, according to the materialist perspective and other traditional political perspectives,
Excuse me, sir. I
yeah,
can't see the screen.
still,
Yes.
wait 1 minute. Still,
Yes, sir. It says that you have started to share the screen, but still we can't see anything.
okay, wait 1 minute. Now it's fine.
No, sir.
Oh God. Now it's okay, no?
No, still no.
Still no?
Yes.
Really? But I did it. That's the problem. Now you can see or not? No.
No, no.
I think it has some trouble, but we will try to sort out it.
Okay.
Hmm. It is continuous processing. It has on that I'm trying to start, right?
Yes, it shows that you have already started to share the screen,
Yeah.
but still
Then after
that's not.
no signal. Oh,
Yeah.
now can you see? No, it's still not.
No.
It's going on today.
Okay, so now it's fine.
Now it's okay, no?
Yes.
Ah, good. So that's what this is the big picture of ecologism. So it shows us the difference between traditional political beliefs and the ecologism, traditional political ideology and ecologism. According to traditional political ideologies like socialism, communism, and Marxist liberalism, right? Then also fascism as well. So according to them, they selected the anthropocentric or materialistic perspective to describe human nature relationship. According to them, human beings or man or woman, they are the masters of this natural world. They are the masters of the environment. So then they can do anything for the benefit of them. But for the ecologist perspective, environmentalist perspective, human beings are not like the masters of the nature or natural world. They are the part of natural world like other animals and living creatures, right? So this is the big picture of ecologism. We can synthesize what we are thinking, what we are talking under the name of ecologism, right? I think you can understand these things. So then about central themes of ecologism, right? So there are few. The first one is ecology. The second one is wholesome. Third one is sustainability. Then the environmental ethics, and the last one is self-actualization. First one, ecology, wholesome, sustainability, environmental ethics, and self-actualization. Right? We will go one by one. So this is the first one, ecology. Read the bullets. All forms of green thought is ecology. The study of organisms at home or in their habitats, developed as a distinct branch of biology. It is a ground recognition. Plants and animals are sustained by self-regulating natural systems. They are called ecosystems. They are not entirely self-sustaining. Each of them interacts with each other, other ecosystems. They need energy from the sun. Then they compost of both living and non-living elements, right? It means ecology. So, right, there are many versions of green thoughts. They all are combined, they all can be combined under the term of ecology. Ecology, right? It means the study of organism at home or in any habitat, at home or in any habitat. But I mean, the word or concept of the home is bit narrow when it compares with habitat. Habitat is more wider than the concept of home, right? When we are talking about hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. When you're talking about habitat, that's a very broader concept. So any place of the world can be identified as habitat, right? Habitat. Not like, I mean, very uh, deep sea or something like that, because there's no living creatures in that places. Except all this thing, all the places, other areas can be identified as habitat, because living creatures are there, living organisms are there. So that's what they are being studied and the word of ecology, right? So then This term developed, this idea developed as a distinct branch of biology. It means as a branch of biology, this idea was developed, right? It is growing recognition. It's a growing recognition. It means uh, time being, for the time being, it has a recognition as a branch of biology. Then the plants and animals are sustained by self-regulating natural systems. Uh, as we know, this is very important point in ecologism. Plants and animals, we can say all living creatures are sustained by self-regulating natural systems, because one day, one day we will be die, right? We cannot live more, right? So it will be decided by the nature. Sometimes some people are saying that it will be decided by the god or goddess or fate or some any other process, right? But according to the ecologist perspective, our fate is, or our fate will be decided by the natural systems. Right? Think about now, uh, the population of this earth is growing high. So if we don't have I mean, exact dates, I mean, exact age for our death, so it will be very troublesome situation, right? If someone lives more than 200 years, 300 years, 500 years, so then it will be very troublesome situation. So that's why naturally there's a system to control our population and our uh, birth and death rates, right? So then, likewise, all living creatures are having that type of system. It was given to them by the natural world. So, on the other hand, uh, we heard that ecosystems, um, in our natural world, we can find it, right? For example, uh, uh, the, there are a few animals or few insects or few living creatures. Uh, one is there to bite other. So there is another one to bite other. So in that way, there are many ecosystems as we studied in our school time, right? So all these ecosystems are naturally born, and they are born to self-sustain. So these are called ecosystems. So if there's any change or damage or any uh, disturbances when they come in, when they pass, so then all the ecosystems will be in trouble. So then natural world will not be balanced, right? So on the other hand, they are not entirely self-sustained. They are self-sustained, but not the entirely self-sustained. For example, each of them interacts with other ecosystems. They need energy from the sun. We cannot live without sunlight. We cannot live without sun, right? That's the truth. Because all living creatures are taking power from the sun, right? We are in here because of sun and other things like oxygen and other things, right? Other fundamental things. So think about glacier melting. So how it's been happening? What's the cause of it? Right? Because we all, in Sri Lankans, people who are in USA, Canada, then the UK and other developed countries, and developed countries and also least developed countries, people, those who are in everywhere, they are doing their day-to-day work. Because of this, we can, or normally, we are uh, engaging in producing carbon dioxide and other uh, type of uh, gases, right? Other bad type of gases. So because of that, global warming, the warmth of the globe is getting high. As the result of that, gases in north and southern uh, polars, they are melting, right? Then after, what is happening, the level of sea level is getting of sea level is rising. Then after, the countries which are in sea area like Sri Lanka, Maldives, and others, right? They are having trouble, right? Because you can see, if you have gone to Galle district, in Galle, near to coastal line, there is a specific strain uh, in Radgam area. It is called Sinigama Devale. Sinigama strain, right? So now it is middle on the sea, right? But our ancestors, they said that at the uh, when our fast, I mean, uh, the Srinigama strain was situated inside the country when our long history, according to our ancestors. Right? What was happened because of sea erosion, or I mean beach erosion, right? Erosion which were caught uh, on the beach, the day by day, by step, the I mean landside was caused to eroded. Then what was happened? Gradually, Srinigama strain went to the sea. Now, if someone, or I mean followers, if they want to go there and worship, they have to use boat. On the other hand, in Hambantota side and Bettikala side, so opposite side of that is been happening. So this type of things, this kind of things are happen every day, every moment, right? So any small thing, any small event of our world, uh, our day-to-day life, will affect to the day-to-day life of other living creatures in everywhere in this world. Sometimes our small activity will affect on the activities, day-to-day activities of the island or Denmark or Argentina or Greenland, right? So that's the thing. The day-to-day activities of China or Beijing will affect on faraway countries like Sri Lanka, Maldives, and others, because they are generating more carbon dioxide and other gases. Then they influence to the world. And also nuclear wastage and other type of wastages. Sometimes they used to what's called sea to deposit them, right? Seabed to deposit them. I mean, they selected certain areas on the seabed, then they uh, put their garbage over there. Sometimes they use sea to test their investigations. These kind of things are happening, and they are thinking about their own way and on mind, because they thought that they think that we are the masters of this natural world, right? Therefore, plants and animals are sustained by self-regulating natural systems. They are called ecosystems, but they are not entirely self-sustained because they are interconnected with each other like internet. They are connected everywhere. We go and we find this. We are connected with natural world, right? That's why it is saying that they are not entirely self-sustaining, right? I think you can understand this one, this side, what I mean, what I said. Radically different versions of nature and the place of human beings, ecocentric or nature-centered rather than anthropocentric. There are technical terms, actually, terminologies. They are ecocentric or nature centric, we can say, then anthropocentric. And we know that anthropo means human beings. As we discussed before, many political uh, ideologies, theorists, social theories, all of them are focused on anthropocentric, to think about human beings, to investigate relationship between the state and the citizen, state and the institutions, people's institution, then the to investigate institutions among the human beings, right? Sociology is focused on that way, right? So, but all these things are sharpened to highlight human beings. That's why all these things are centered on anthropo or human beings. That's what it's called, anthropocentric. But uh, ecologism, not like in traditional political thoughts and ideologies, it focuses on ecocentric and nature-centered world. They are talking about ecologists. They are talking about ecocentric and nature-centered features, right? So that's how we are finding we are finding terminologies in this discussion. However, green or environmental thinkers have applied ecological ideas in different ways. They 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 look natural world in different ways sometimes. For example, Norwegian philosopher or ecologist Arnasis Arnasis in 1973, he produced two way of thinking in ecologism. One is shallow ecology, other one is deep ecology. One is shallow ecology, other one is deep ecology. Shall we discuss what they are, what are the meanings of these two versions of ecologism, right? For example, shallow ecologist perspective, right? So they think that accepts the lessons of ecology, then human needs and ends, if we conserve and cherish the natural world, it will continue to sustain human life. A particular concerns with issues such as controlling population growth, cutting back on the use of finite, so non-renewable resources, and reducing pollution. So simply it means we can use environment, right? Because human beings have their own needs and ends. We are having our own needs and ends, right? We want to have good roads to travel, right? We want to have playgrounds to play. We want to have lands for constructing our houses, constructing our buildings, schools, temples, churches, so then universities, uh, industries or factories. We need to have land to construct them, right? Sometimes we need to have land to construct lakes or ponds, right? We need to control environment uh, to supply power generation. Power, right? Supply power like electricity. We can see that sometimes it's what people are coming and they're cutting our trees and branches of our trees, right? These things are happening. We can see, right? So we are having here as human beings needs and ends than the other living creatures. According to shallow ecologist perspective, we can use we can use environment, we can use land, we can cut trees, we can damage environment slightly to fulfill our needs, right? But according to shallow ecologist perspective, our activities should be sustained because we need to think about sustainability of the environment. We cannot avoid sustainable part is there. We can use environment, but we have to protect environment. We can minimally use it. We cannot uh, massively destruct the environment, right? So according to shallow ecologist perspective, we can use environment sustainably, right? So there's no any argument or comment uh, because we want to live, we want to survive. For that, we have to use environment. But deep ecologists, they have very antagonistic feeling about usage of environment by the human beings. According to them, they dismissed shallow ecologist perspectives on ecologism by saying that they they are anthropocentric. According to the perspective deep ecologist, shallow ecologists are anthropocentric. According to deep ecologist, Shallow ecologists, they are supporting to the human beings. They are supporting to the developed countries. Actually, they are supporting to the fulfillment of the needs and ends of the developed countries, industrial countries. That's what they are expressing their ideas about usage of environment or degradation of environment according to the deep ecologist perspective. According to them, deep ecologists, they completely reject the use of environment. According to them, people or human beings, they cannot use environment. They cannot use environmental things, environmental materials, right? For example, according to their perspective, we cannot cut trees, we cannot construct houses, we cannot do anything, right? If it is harmful, if it is do harm to the environment, we cannot do anything. So that's the perspective. That's the deep ecologist perspective, right? So then the concept of human supremacy over the other living species and nature. According to them, human supremacy is not there all the other living species and natures, right? They are the part of it. Therefore, they have no right to harm it. They have no right to damage it. They have no right to violate rules and regulations of the natural world. So, as critics, we can say, if we accept deep ecologist perspective, we cannot develop, we cannot move, we cannot do our day-to-day work. We have to live inside the caves, natural caves, right? So then, that's the way they are seen in environmental protection. It means that they are not having concrete and uniform idea about how to perceive environment, right? That's what Nas say. I think you can understand. If you have any questions or comments or adding some, if you want to add something, you can do it, right? Is any questions? Any question? Any comment?
No.
Can you understand these two versions of ecologist, shallow ecologist and deep ecologist? According to shallow ecologist, we can use environmental materials. For example, we can cut the tree to construct our house. According to deep ecologist perspective, we cannot do any harmful things to the environment because we are the part of it. We are not the masters of the natural world. So we cannot do anything. For example, the fish or the bird cannot do anything to the harmful thing to the environment. That's the nature. Likewise, we cannot do anything to do harm for the environment, right? Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
So next concept is horsing. Horsing, right? First read the bullets. Traditional political ideologies, they have never looked seriously at the relationship between humankind and nature. They have assumed that human beings are the masters of the natural world. Therefore, they have regarded nature as little more than an economic resource. In that sense, they have been part of the problem and not part of the solution, since treats nature as a machine that can be repaired. It means traditional political ideologies as well as traditional thoughts, especially not in the political science. So, for example, science, chemistry, biology, physics, uh, and other field as well, right? Geography, the sociology, and so on. Especially economics. They looked environment within the sense of, within the lens of economics and finance, right? According to their perspective, nature means the plenty of natural resources which can be utilized by the people. Plenty of natural resources which can be utilized by the people, right? So then, ecologist perspective, they are not like the, according to them, world, I mean, natural world is natural. It is not like plenty of pool of economic resources. That's the difference between traditional thoughts, traditional political ideologies, and ecologism. Ecologism. Because ecologism is always thinking about wholesome. Wholesome means the completeness of something or completeness of our world. They are not just focusing on one aspect and another aspect or uh, then and there, here and there, right? For example, if there is anything, for example, we think about there's a uh, project, uh, it is there to construct a dam across the river, right? Like Aswan Dam in India. There's a project. Uh, that project is going to construct a dam across the river. So then economists, politicians, the bureaucrats, within the perspective of traditional knowledge and thinking patterns, they just focus on constructing the dam and also generating power and providing water to the other farmlands and households and so on. Within the perspective of economists, right? But ecologists, they think in in another way. I mean, they think differently. They started to think if there's a dam there, so that is obvious. The people can use the water for their farmlands. They can use the water for their households. The power can be generated. All these things are very true, but environmental degradation, environmental pollution, which will be caused by the operating of, I mean, constructing of this dam, is very high. It will be very high, right? They are thinking about living creatures, the impact of the river and other river basins, then also other areas, right? They are thinking a lot of things and widely and uh, thinking about that way, and they're expressing their ideas. That's what they are saying, that we need to oxygen to breathe. right? We need to oxygen to breathe. Without oxygen, we cannot live, right? So you know what I mean, right? So these kind of things are going on. Ecologists, they think the completeness, complete one, that is called wholesome. This idea actually was specially coined by uh, Prime Minister of South Africa, John Smart, in 1926. The concept of wholesome. According to him, he used the term to describe the idea that the natural world could only be understood as a whole and not through its individual parts. For example, if you want to check the bicycle, it is called foot bicycle, right? So we just go near to it, and first we can check the bell whether it is working properly or not. Then we can check the handle, then the seat, then the luggage, the mud guards, sparks, paddle, and so one by one, right? Now, what do you think? Do you think that we can have a clear idea, clear picture, or real picture about the operation of this foot bicycle or bicycle? Do you think that? Can you understand my example? We want to buy a bicycle, right? Or we want to check it whether it is properly work or not, right? So then we just go there, or uh, think about, we want to buy a bicycle. So then we uh, go to the shop and just check every part of the bicycle, each and every part of the bicycle, but separately. One time we check the bell, and that time we will not check the handle. At the time when we check the handle, at that time we will not check the pattern, right? While we are checking pattern, we are not check checking the mud guard, right? So we check the each and every part of the bicycle, but not at the whole, right? So then, do you think by checking in that way, can we have a very good idea, very broad idea, real idea about the bicycle? Oh. Then what we want to do? Actually, we want to ride it to have a clear idea, a real idea about the bicycle. Likewise, if we study about river, if we study about mountain, if we study about, I mean, uh, the sun or moon, do you think can we have good idea, real idea about natural world? We just studied about living creatures, fox or cats or rats or something like that, right? We just thinking about pond or lake, water streams, clouds, rainwater, or just find ecosystem and check it. By doing that, can we have a good and broad and real idea about our natural world? No, because they are self-sustained. While they are self-sustaining, they are interconnected with each other. They are interconnected with each other, as I mentioned before, right? That's what uh, ecologist John Smart said in 1926. Natural world could only be understood as whole and not through its individual parts. That's the meaning of wholesome. Wholesome is based upon the belief that the whole, the not as the small parts. The whole is more important than its individual parts. According to ecologist perspective or Janismas, the complete one, whole one, is very important than the individual parts because the whole one, the complete one, is giving a very clear and actual and factual picture of it, right? So that's what we need to think about wholeness when we are going to study something, especially in natural world. It suggests that each part only has meaning in relation to other parts and ultimately in relation to the whole. There's a whole, but each and every parts of that system, that whole, are interconnected with each other. They are combined with each other. They are interacting with each other. If one something is happening in one place, definitely it will be affected on the other places. Sometimes very far away from that place, but its affection will go there. Likewise, so as I mentioned before, because of global warming, the glaciers in North and South Polar, uh, they are melting. But the Maldives and Sri Lanka, they are middle on the world because of these activities which are being done in North and Southern Flora, uh, our countries are facing threat, right? So if you think about, this is very big word, but it is not that much of big because each and every in parts of the world are connecting with each other and interacting with each other. They are affecting with each other. They are depending with each other. So that's the reality which was highlighted by the which is highlighted by the uh, ecologism or ecologist perspective. Uh, right. Then I think I will stop from here. So if you have any questions or comments, now this is the time for that. Is it clear everything? And any questions or comments from your side? Senali?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anything? Darshi, Vinathani, Shiva Sitamparam, Senali, Sankalpani. Who is Shiva Sitamparam? Shiva Sitamparam.
Pratik Passer.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. Oh, so you use the surname, right? So I couldn't understand very well.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Everything is fine for your side. No any questions? I'm very doubt because you are very silent. See, students should not like this, right? They must speak. They must think broadly. They must think about the whole, not the individual parts. I mean, they do not think about small parts like exams, CA, and all other things. They think about the whole knowledge, right? So, anything from your side, Darshi?
No, sir, it's clear.
Okay, thank you. So now your climate is clear, no? I'm also having
Yes.
clear environment. Yes, very pleasant environment we are having today in Belulu area. So then Saranga, fine. So okay, thank you, Saranga. So yes, if I'm correct, Sudarshan must be there, must be in here, right? But it is very rare to find his face or his what is called uh, Zoom account in here, right? We'll see. So then, shall we move because you have next session, right?
Sir,
Yes, Darcy.
sir, do we have CSO presentations in this semester?
According to the faculty board, last faculty board. So again, you are thinking about the individual parts, right? Not the all. Right? Oh, that's the nature of human beings. Those who are following traditional political thoughts, not like ecologism, right? Uh, According to last faculty board, our dean sir said that there's no CA or continuous assessment because, as we know, as we all aware about that, because all of us cannot access clearly to the internet and the online sessions because of internet connections. There are so many issues in their houses. Sometimes depression or sometimes tension is there because I mean COVID-19 patients can be found in their neighbor places, right? Then the tension will automatically goes up. Then sometimes it is very difficult to find data cards and data and other things. So uh, considering that sometimes climate is disturbing us very badly in these days. So considering all these things, deans and our faculty, senior scholars, they said that we will not conduct continuous assessment and other CAs, but they said that the decision should be submitted to the Senate. Then I don't know what the Senate said because our next faculty board is coming in next week. Then we can have a clear idea about CA and continuous assessment. Then the dean sir will announce what the Senate decision. So then after we can give concrete answer, right? So until then you can enjoy because we are thinking about your difficulties in this special situation. However, you pass the very competitive examination, you are entered to the university. So we cannot waste your time. So I'm very much happy to appear and stand uh, in front of you. I mean, to protect you. I mean, we want to stand, we want to commit, we want to work, we want to commit a lot to pass or to graduate you within a given time frame, right?
Yes,
When
sir.
yeah, so that's the most important thing. As students you have to do a lot of things. You have to get your what's called degree, then after find a job, good job. So then after find a good place to settle and have to marry and there are many things, right? Then how to treat your parents and the elders and your families. So we are committed to give what's called graduation as we promised in particular day when you enter to the university. So that's what our ambition in this specific time. But to have that goal, we need your support. So some students are lazy, so they are not coming to class sometimes and saying that no signal, no. They are always saying no, right? So I know personally, there are many students, they are having a lot of difficulties, sometimes no money, no good, I mean, family background. I mean, there are a lot of problems in our houses, right? Even in my house, there are problems, right? Time to time, problems are coming and going, right? So in our areas and our neighboring areas, so sometimes we can find COVID-19 patients. So then if we heard that news, we just shocked and uh, we are embarrassing, right? So this type of things are going on, but many students having all the kind of troubles and problems, and they want to have their graduation. We respect all of them, so that's what we want to do, not as the department or not as a subject, not as the faculty, as a university. When I met our deans and faculty board members and also vice chancellor and others, I'm always saying that we are having students, we want to commit a lot uh, to graduate them time as scheduled time, but we have to provide good knowledge and good education. Right? That's clear.
Yes, sir.
After the faculty board, I think we can give clear answer. That's very good point, right? The good question.
Okay.
If you have any questions, or I mean, not regarding the lessons or our discipline, you can talk. You are any problem with us, right? If you have any problem, you can talk with Belgam Sir, Shanti Madam. Uh, right? That's what we are, the university. We are the cream of this country. I mean, university academia. According to my perspective, university teachers and students should do much of things than this in this special endangering situation. Right? Can it clear? I mean, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Then shall we stop now today? Thank you very much for coming and participating.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, see you then.